Plaintiff Kelly Cashman is suing her ex-husband James Reed for unreturned property and emotional distress. Kelly says she started dating the defendant when she was 20 and he was 45, and he taught her to be a great hunter, but now he's keeping her rifles out of spite. But James says because the plaintiff and her daughter owe him money, he's withholding their property. James is countersuing for truck payments.
Kelly Cashman is suing James Reed, her ex-husband, for unreturned rifles, emotional stress, and court fees. And the defendant, James Reed, is countersuing his ex-wife for unpaid truck payments and unpaid loans. Kelly, why don't you tell me how you met the defendant?
1987, I started working for him. As his secretary, had a business run out of his home. I was 20 years old at the time. He was 45.
All right, so is this a personal, intimate relationship?
It began to be, yes. We started dating.
All right.
We had a lot of fun together. We go boating. He introduced me into hunting. I'm sorry.
Who are you?
Hi, Your Honor. I am Shelby. I am her sister.
And what are you here to say?
I am here to say how Mr. Reed's personality is. At one moment, he can be a fun, friendly man and then just turn on you. He was a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Has really lowered her confidence. That's why she's kind of having a hard time speaking right now with him. And he would, choose what kind of clothing she'd wear.
Is that true? You tell her what kind of clothing to wear?
No.
No?
But I bought her clothes, any clothes she wanted.
That sounds like a nice thing.
Yes, it could be nice. Very controlling.
Okay. Did you end up marrying him?
Yes.
How long after you moved in did you marry him?
5 years. He decided if we could make it 5 years, then we would get married.
And how were those 5 years?
They were good. We did a lot of things together.
Okay.
Had a good time.
Okay. All right. So how did the marriage end? I mean,
his mood swings. He, like I said, when things were good, they were good. When they were bad, they were very bad. I couldn't have my own opinion. Didn't have any friends. My friends were his friends. I did what he did. And it got to be a little unbearable. We got a divorce.
How long after you were married did you get divorced?
3 years, a little over 3 years.
I don't get this. How do people live together for 5 years? It's great. Then they get married. They can't make it 3 years. They can't make it half that time. Why? What happens? Were you married before?
Yes.
What happened to the last marriage?
Didn't work. I just didn't work.
That's a good answer. How about you? Were you married before? Or is this your first marriage?
I was married before.
All right. So why are we here today?
I got remarried in 1999
to somebody else?
To my current husband, yes.
Okay.
We were having some problems and separated. My oldest daughter, who Mr. Reed helped raise, had run into Mr. Reed, and they were talking, and she had told him that I was having problems with my husband. He said, well, have your mom give me a call. We started talking, and
he was nice to you then?
Yes. He rented me an apartment. He paid for the apartment. Didn't want me to have a job. That way I was able to go and do things when he wanted to do them. I didn't have a vehicle. He gave me his brand new truck. He wanted me to drive his new truck.
Is that true?
No. Kelly called me to start with. And we started talking again. And one thing led to another. She, was in an unhappy marriage and wanted out. And I was willing to help her.
There you were with open arms again. All right, so you get her a place.
Yeah.
Why?
She needed a place to live.
But she's not your wife.
But she needed a place to live.
Well, a lot of people in the audience need a place to live.
I'd probably help them.
You had feelings for her, admit it.
I still had feelings for her.
You still have feelings for her?
Yes.
So why, she came back a second time. How come it didn't work out the second time?
I don't know. I really don't know.
All right. Well, I'm having trouble here. All right.
The first time probably, Your Honor, was drugs.
On your part?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That would explain the mood swings.
Probably. I was on OxyContin.
Serious stuff.
Well, they took me off OxyContin. I'm on a different, I've had eight back surgeries.
You did?
My left leg is about the third the size of my right leg.
Really? All right.
So I probably did have mood swings, Your Honor. I'm not doubting that.
Okay. You're suing him for unreturned rifles. What's that about?
When I moved into his place, and it didn't work out, when I got my stuff back, he had my guns in a safe. Well, he wasn't there at the time, and I could not get my guns out of the safe, obviously. And I have a copy here, or a statement for replacement value on the guns. Mm-hmm. And I also
what kind of guns are we talking about?
1100 Remington 20-gauge shotgun, and then a 28-gauge Remington.
What did you do with those guns?
I hunt.
What did you hunt?
I hunt deer. I skin my deer. I butcher my own deer. I have pictures here.
Let's see them.
I even make venison jerky, which I made some for you.
You did?
Yeah.
Is that like beef jerky?
I send venison jerky to Iraq for my son-in-law. I feed my family with
now.
this.
What are you doing?
Well, maybe.
How do you make venison jerky?
And here's pictures of, and I decorate my house with the antlers, and I make things with them. And this is my passion,
Why are you
my
such a
thing.
good shot? Wow.
This is my passion. I look forward to this every year. I feed my family with this,
Really?
and it's my peace and he took that
Killing
from me.
animals?
No, providing for my family is,
Wow.
and I'm proud of what I do. And he kept my guns, and I wasn't able to do that this year.
Why'd you keep her
me
guns?
to
Do you have
hurt
her
me.
guns?
I only have one of her guns.
Well,
one of the guns
we
is
can't be
blown.
missing a 28-gauge Remington rifle.
He has both of my guns, Your Honor.
Yeah,
The 28 gauge was my oldest daughter's that she purchased.
And I see you decorate with antlers. I see a
Yes.
lot of antlers here. You taught her how
That
to hunt,
was my first
James?
deer 20 years ago he taught me how to hunt, yes, and I love it.
Wow. So you taught her how to hunt. She a good shot?
I wouldn't want her shooting me.
Winter.
Okay.
But I depend
I'm
on that.
impressed.
I depend on that meat.
That first deer she killed with a bow.
With a bow?
That was my first deer, yes, ma'am.
You killed
Yes,
it with
Your
a
Honor.
bow?
Yes.
You don't need a shotgun. Just take your bow and arrow. Wow. Did you always want to hunt, or did he introduce you to hunting?
I had always been interested in it, but he introduced me into it, and we would go out, and I took my vacation days for hunting. We would go down for opening week of hunting.
So then, what do you do? Wait for a deer to walk by?
I usually climb in a tree, yes.
Climb in a tree. Mm-hmm. And do you look at a deer and look at its eyes and think,
No,
oh,
I don't think of that.
You don't think that way?
No. I think that this feeds my family.
Mm-hmm. So you want your guns back so you can feed your family?
Well, yes, I missed out on hunting this year, and
James, give her the gun.
Well, I would give her the Remington, Your Honor. I have no problem with that. But the other gun belongs to her other daughter that owes me money also.
the other
Okay.
gun my oldest daughter gave to my youngest daughter for her first gun, and she's
Okay.
only 7.
Who's the 7-year-old with?
With my current husband,
The third or the
the
fourth?
third.
The third.
There is no fourth.
There's no fourth. All right. So now, emotional stress is just he tried to control you.
No, I missed out on hunting and meat. You can't,
that's
purchase the venison meat that I know of.
Okay.
And when
All
I
right,
go
James,
hunting,
what do you
I
have to
kill a
say
deer.
about this?
Well, I have no problem with giving her the Remington. The high standard belongs to her oldest daughter that owes me money.
What does her oldest daughter owe you money for?
Well, she totaled my truck this last summer. I loaned her $500 that I haven't received back, that her mom said, I'll make sure you get it back. Well, I haven't gotten the money back.
You're a generous guy. Are you?
I think so, yes.
Because after you divorced her, you're still loaning money to her daughter and letting her use a truck?
She needed a vehicle.
Do you have
she had
kids
no
of your
wheels.
own?
Beg your pardon?
Do you have children of your own?
I got 3 kids I put through college.
Okay. All right. So what is your defense? And what are you claiming about the truck?
Well, she told me she'd make payments on the truck. She hadn't made payments on it. I've loaned her money.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
What truck are we talking about?
A 95 Blazer.
Okay. How did this come into being, this
I have
Blazer?
the title to this Blazer. I called Mr. Reed. I didn't have a vehicle at the time. He came over and said they need a tree cut down, that he would take a couple of the guys and cut this tree down for the Blazer.
Is that true?
That's part of it.
Go ahead.
And a few days went by. I pull into my mom's driveway. There's the Blazer sitting there and the title with it. There was no mention of money. He was going to cut a tree for it.
But he gave it to you.
That's
Yes,
not true,
with
Your
the
Honor.
clear
Tell me what
title.
happened. Come on, James.
She
what
told me
happened?
she was going to make payments. I originally
Did you
bought
get anything in writing from her?
No. I originally bought the vehicle from my nephew.
No, you didn't buy it. You cut down trees for it.
Well, no, I paid $1,500 also, besides cutting a tree down.
Okay.
In cash.
Okay. All right. Now, what about the guns? How do I prove that the gun that he says is for your daughter, it belongs to you?
There's a statement from my oldest daughter where she had given that to my youngest daughter for her first gun.
That's kind of convenient.
And Your Honor, honestly, I would be scared to take the guns back unless they were taken to a gunsmith.
Why?
He has 50 or 60 guns. I would be scared to shoot it unless I take it to a gunsmith first.
I'd do that anyway. If it hasn't been used and if you don't know where it was, I'd take it to a gun shop and make sure it was okay.
And after all that's happened, the gun used to have a lot of sentimental value to it.
That's why you're suing for it.
Now,
So you want
I'm just going to think of, what's I've had to go through. It's not, the sentimental value is just diminishing, by the moment.
So do you not want the gun?
I would rather have the replacement value of the gun.
And what is the
start
replacement
over.
value of the gun?
I have a,
Okay. $750, rifle barrel $299, Remington 1100 28 gauge 800. So that's three. So it's like $1,850. Is that
Yes.
about right?
yes.
Does that make
They
sense
no
to
longer
you?
make those guns.
No. No.
What are the guns worth?
Here, let me show you a picture of it, okay?
I also have a picture, but not a very,
There's a real good
He's
picture,
got a good picture. We'll
of the
look at his
gun.
pictures.
It's got a scope rail glued to it. And how they would get that off, I don't have any idea how they would get it off. That one is super glued on there, and that devaluates the gun. I don't know how they're going to get that gun off there, but I got Gander Mountain wrote me an estimate of what the gun's worth right now,
What's it worth?
and I've done nothing to the gun.
What's it worth?
It's set my $180.
So you don't want this gun back? The Remington, the LT 1100 LT20, you don't want it back?
yes.
I know you want the gun. Take the gun. Now, the issue is whether or not the defendant supposedly has the two guns that the plaintiff says are hers. The defendant says he's holding one for her daughter. All right? The verdict of this court is very simple. The plaintiff has proven to this court that he's got two of her guns. He's got to give them back, and don't tell me that they belong to someone else. Both guns go back to the plaintiff. Now, the defendant is now saying the reason I'm not giving her guns is because I gave her a truck. She said she was going to pay me for the truck, and she didn't. I'm holding the truck. It's a lovely truck, but at the end of the day, you're a generous guy. You like to buy this woman stuff. She's a beautiful woman. You bought her stuff your whole life. You bought her the truck. It showed up with an open title. It's hers. Give her the guns. She keeps the truck.